Yeah. Are there some moments that kind of make this real for you? Like, I don't know, getting the helmet on, the jersey on for the Colts first time, those kinds of things?
Yeah, I think, like I said, being out here and actually, playing football with the horseshoe, on the helmet now is really cool. So that was, just fun being out here, and it is starting to feel like, you're back in it and back playing football again.
This is your job now.
Yep.
So it's really different from what you've done before. Mm-hmm. Does it feel like that, or is it just you try not to get too deep in that?
Well, they say you're never working if you're doing what you love, right? So that's what I've been doing my whole life. So it's really just continuing that and doing what I love and what I feel like I'm supposed to be doing. So it's a lot of fun.
How's it been integrating with some of the vets so far?
Honestly, I haven't been around the vets too much yet. It's really just been, us at this camp right now. I think they'll be in later in the week or something. But yeah, I'm excited. I've had some guys text me and stuff when I got drafted. So to see them in person and start to mesh with the team will be fun.
Have you talked with Riley a lot about the Orange Bowl?
A little bit. It hadn't been long talks, but it's came up here and there.
What are some of your first impressions of seeing Tyler Warren in a setting like this?
Yeah, it was good. Obviously, it was just, we had a light practice today, but good movement skills. I had some good catches, obviously a physical presence out there, but he did some really good things today.
What do you try, as a staff, what do you try to get done with the rookies these 2 days before you really get into it with the OTAs and all that?
Yeah, I think it's really just we're learning the playbook right now. You know what I mean? Obviously, these practices are fast, taking care of them. Obviously, we're not in pads, so we got to be smart there. But really looking at the football IQ, the mental, seeing the movement skills out here is what we're trying to get done.
Were you ever surprised one way or the other? Like, I didn't know that, or gosh, I thought he was more than this.
Every once in a while you are, but again, just his physical size and presence, to see it in person is good to see.
What's like just get into the talking ball part, because he's done so many different things in college, and I'm sure you love that.
Yeah, we'll have some fun with that, but right now we're just installing the offense right now, just getting to know the terminology, and then we'll go from there. But smart player, obviously, what he was able to do at Penn State, and now to get him here, it's exciting.
What do you like about DJ Giddens in the draft process?
His movement skills, his vision, the way he sees the holes is impressive. He's a glider. He's got really good instincts through the line of scrimmage. Obviously had a lot of production there at K-State, so to add that depth there in that running back room is going to be big.
Apparently Zaire had a thing.
Yeah, he's got an ankle deal. We're just got it cleaned up, so it'll take some time. Hopefully, he'll be back by training camp.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tyler, just in the locker room, obviously the guys are excited. Do you feel that buzz as soon as you guys got him?
Yeah, I think so. Anytime you get a dynamic player.
All right. What's up? Here we go. Okay. Appreciate anybody stopping by. If you're stopping by after the stream, hey, what's up? Appreciate you stopping by. Now we're going live later than I was hoping to. So not sure what kind of audience we're going to get here. Is also kind of last minute that I'll let y'all know. But been a while since I live streamed. I wanted to do it yesterday. Life will be life, and ended up not having the time to end up doing that. Really, honestly, started watching the Pacers game, and they were smacking, and I didn't feel like stepping away from that. Was really enjoying watching that game, but definitely, some stuff happening not only for the Colts, but also in the land of football, in the land of basketball, Indiana sports as a whole. Kind of, they're going. There's been, the Colts putting out as much content as they possibly can. And obviously, like, from a news standpoint, not really a ton of news. Although there is interesting conversations to be had with some different things. Pay him, they would locked up for the foreseeable future. Great point there. Go ahead and save that. Just some different things to talk about. So really the main talking point right now for us is going to be Trey Henderson. And the news that continues to come out, a conversation we've had, and seems like it's going nowhere for us, but it also seems now that it's going nowhere for Trey Henderson. It's going nowhere for the Bengals. So, like, I feel like we're at a point in this Trey Henderson thing that it's like, okay, so, like, the Bengals are very unserious about keeping Trey Henderson. So just send him to a team that does want to have him, and let's go ahead and pay him. With the cap that we have, we could probably restructure to open some stuff up and be able to afford bringing him in. And so that's kind of where I am with this thing. If you haven't heard the latest update, this is from Trey Henderson, and this is earlier today. Trey Henderson gave a statement to ESPN, said, quote, "No communication has taken place between my camp and the organization post-draft. The offers prior to the draft did not reflect the vision we shared and were promised last offseason if I contributed to play at a high level, or if I continued to play at a high level, Coaches are aware of these past conversations. Rather than using collaboration to get us to a point to bring me home to the team, they, and it's capitalized, they are no longer communicating. I've been eagerly awaiting a resolution on this situation, but that's hard to do when there's no discussion and an evident lack of interest in reaching mutual goals." That had to happen, or I was going to keep having a pause there. But so what we're looking at here, Trey Henderson, the communication's still not there between Trey Henderson and the Bengals. So I'm just at a point where it makes no sense for the Bengals to keep him, right? So it makes all the sense for us to go get him. And I thought the tweet that I just saw from Destin Adams was really well put, where he says, if the Colts trade for Henderson and pay him, they would have Henderson, Latu, and Tuamalo, or Tuamalu. I'm going to have to go figure out how to say his name. But JTT, right, with Latu and Henderson, locked up for the foreseeable future. Edge would go from a massive question mark to having a stable foundation with fantastic upside. And you're not only doing that at the edge position if you traded for Henderson. Like, you think about what we need to do. Like, people are going to talk about the obvious need to have depth at linebacker, especially with Zaire Franklin having an ankle surgery. I believe it was an ankle surgery, right? That, you know, we're just finding out about. Excuse me. But now with that, and what are you going to get from JC, right? And then what else do you have behind that? We like Segan Luby, but Cameron McGrone, if he ends up having to step on the field, do you feel confident with that? Right. So I understand the position where, and I could see a world where the Colts still go get a veteran linebacker, somebody to come in and fill a spot, whether that's going to end up being, you know, somebody they only want to rely on him for special teams. I would understand that. But also getting somebody in again to fill that space. What if Zaire, he comes in training camp right after the surgery and tweaks the injury, right, or tweaks and has to continue to rehab, and then he's not ready for the season? Then what do we do? So I understand that question mark. I feel like that's really the question mark at this point on the team. When you think about now, depth at tight end looks a lot better when you have a very capable starter that you believe in, and we all think that Tyler Warren's going to be that guy, right? And so the depth behind him at tight end I like. Depth at running back was a question mark. That's good. Depth in the secondary, it looks incredible right now. You want to go get maybe another safety to fill in back there, but you at least have guys in the secondary in the backup of the secondary that have had to have starting experience in their career and will be able to do that. Plus, getting new coaching, I think, does matter as well. Louis Rumo coming in that secondary, I think, is going to be good. So, man, you throw in an edge, right? You throw in Hendrickson to what we have. We already have Ebicom. We already have Kwity Paye. And do one of those guys get moved? I think that's definitely quite. And during the conversations we've had here about Trey Hendrickson, that's been what we brought up. I think one time was that we definitely talked about Kwity Paye being a piece that gets traded for Trey Hendrickson. I'm pretty sure we also mentioned, hey, what if you were able to get rid of Ebicom instead of cutting him, right? When we thought he might get cut to save, I believe, like $8.5 million or whatever, instead of doing that, just trade him. Thought that would have been a viable option. It still could be. And so what gets moved? But if you don't give up any current personnel, then you look at our depth at defensive end. If you were to add Trey Hendrickson, and then you're all of a sudden you're looking at Henderson, Latu, Paye, Ebicom, JTT, Tyquan Lewis, a room of 6 guys, where Tyquan Lewis being the 6 is nuts, right? Tyquan Lewis being your 2 is okay. Like, if he's on the field, I'm okay with it, right? Especially in a new defense could be good for him. But him as a 6 is ridiculous. So just thinking of that world, thinking of a world where that's what we're rolling out every Sunday at defensive end. And even if you get an injury or two and having the depth behind that, it would just be, there's so much that goes into it. As I sit here and I look and see that you're mentioning Pratt, boy, if you get Pratt and Hendrickson, like that's the ideal situation right there. Right. And what's up, brother? Appreciate you coming by. Hope you've been doing all right. But yeah, getting Pratt and Hendrickson would be ridiculous. Fill 2 needs, give 2 rooms, great veterans, that can come in and have an impact right away. Like, holy cow. I already feel good about the defense, going into this year, especially from where we've been. We're going to be much more aggressive. I can't wait to watch it happen, which is going to be great. So I'm really excited about the defense. And then if you add in Pratt, like we were just talking about Hendrickson, so that's what I have on my mind. But now it's like, man, you throw in Pratt and Hendrickson, like what does that cost you? Where do you find the money? What contracts are getting moved around and restructured for you to really be able to do that is going to be the question there. But getting those 2 would be crazy. Getting those 2 both on the defensive line would be incredible. Or on the defense would be incredible. Man, just constant edge pressure with a more aggressive secondary. You add Charvarius Ward to cover the best wide receiver on a team. And then you add Cam Bynum to be over the top and somebody who's a ball hawk. Like, bro, this defense is going to be crazy. Like, I know I'm probably just being an optimistic homer and whatever, but with the change in what the defense is going to do, the personnel we're going to be rolling out, the fact that Lou Anarumo isn't going to rotate his defense just to rotate his defense. Like, the best guys are going to play a lot of the time. Latu's probably going to be on the field more. Right? Like, they're dogs on that defense. And it will be interesting to see I wanted to see how the defensive rotations on the defensive line change from one coordinator to the next. That's maybe my biggest question is, does he continue to rotate because he has the guys, or does he pick his guys who these are the guys that I want in most situations, right? And I guess specifically for this conversation, pass rushing situations, which guys does he want the most? Because under Gus Bradley, that always changed. And I do think there's an element of guys needing to be able to find a rhythm, and needing to be on the field to find a rhythm, right? Offensive linemen are playing the chess game all game long against these defensive ends, and we make it easier in my opinion, you make it easier on a tackle when you're changing your defensive linemen, the people that he's seeing, because it's different. All of a sudden, the moves reset, and now the chess game restarts. So I think what happens this year on the defensive line is going to be very interesting to see. How does that change with Luan Rumo? With us having the extra DB and one less linebacker, will that change because we're going smaller personnel? Will that change who we see on the field more often, right? Tommy Ade, and shout out to Zach Hicks, who does good research, finds some good stuff, and puts it on Twitter. And I saw something where he was talking about Tommy Ade, had a couple different tweets about Tommy Ade, and how one of them was talking about how he got put at edge a little more and his effectiveness from that position. Right now, of course, on the inside, he's a little bit smaller, so against the run, he's somebody that's a target for double teams. And so that makes it hard for him to fill that space. But I think if you can find a spot for him to be like on, first downs, right? Running downs, where you still want to have somebody that can rush the passer, throw Tommy Ade and Kwity Paye as your edge guys, right? On first down, and then on money down, second and third down, when you ideally get yourself in a good position, 2nd and 8 or longer, and then you can let your pass rushers come in and eat, right? Trey Hendrickson, JTT, Latu, boom, and which again would be interesting. Yeah, I almost at this point, because we drafted a guy, I thought those were the options, where you either get Trey Hendrickson or you draft a guy this year. And because we drafted a guy high, 2nd round, getting Hendrickson seems more like a long shot now than it ever has for me. But I wouldn't be opposed to it. And again, because we'd be so deep, because there's so many guys, I feel like at this point, if you did make that trade, you're going to have to give up somebody. You're giving up somebody. Let's sit here and go through. Definitely some more to talk about. Appreciate you guys stopping by. Appreciate you hopping in the comment section. Nice to talk to you guys. See some familiar faces here. Been a while since we streamed. Sorry for that. You know what I mean? Been on the grind, brother. Been on the grind. Doing the thing. You know what I mean? But want to start doing this more regularly. Hope you guys will continue to join me. And I want to do it on Sundays. I meant to do this yesterday for those of you that weren't here at the beginning. I wanted to do this yesterday, but the Pacers were smacking the Cavs, and I was attached to that. So ended up not streaming yesterday, but probably going to try to do this on Sundays going forward, make a habit of streaming on Sundays, and then going into the season, of course, be streaming for the games on Sundays. I'm sitting here currently watching this Boston-New York game. Boston up, at least for me, my mind is a little bit behind. Al Horford just buried a 3 to make it 44-35. Sorry, give me Boston. I want Boston anyways. But, all right, what are we looking at? KT, Mike, Nathan, Young Empire, what's up, brother? Appreciate y'all hopping into the chat. There's a couple other people chilling in here. Appreciate you guys for stopping by. JT from Ohio State will be a stud. Yeah, JTT. I think JTT, and you may or may not know this opinion, I think JTT, especially because of our depth on the defensive line, I think early on we're not going to see huge numbers and a huge impact from JTT. But I think as the year goes on, I think he's going to become much more effective for us. And I think Latu, with a year under his belt of NFL experience, a little bit of I know what to expect, and the training that comes along with that and the development, I think Latu and JTT by the end of the year, we're about to have 3 ooses on the defensive line, big balling for us, and I can't wait to watch that be the case. And then you have Grover Stewart, who I'm sitting here looking, and he posted, I think, on Instagram just a little while ago, Grover putting up 495 pounds on the bench. I mean, that's ridiculous. It's absolutely, like, as I sit here and think about it, like, I can't imagine how long it would take. I've been in the gym, right? I've been putting in work. I don't know how long it would take me to get to 495 pounds. Dude, that is absolutely absurd. So shout out to Grove being a lifelong Colt. He better be. Because you look at the current landscape of the NFL, you need defensive linemen. And now we have a first rounder, second rounder, first rounder. Grove later, drafted later, but plays like a first rounder. So really happy with how the defensive line's starting to shake out. Obviously, with the interior guys getting older, it's just what's the future going to be and how do we solve that for the future? But that's a future problem. For 2025, I like where we're at. Of course, a lot of our success is going to hinge on Anthony Richardson, which is a conversation that I don't want to. We had plenty of quarterback conversation. There's plenty of offseason left where we're going to have filler content at some point. I'm not going to beat the quarterback thing into the grounds right now. I'm sitting here looking at Nathan. AR deserves a start. I mean, AR deserves the start is a strong statement. I have 2 AR jerseys. I hope he works out. Okay? I hope he works out. The jerseys, I'm to a point I think I'm going to stop buying jerseys. And this is real holier than thou of me, but dude, I have Derek Carr with the Raiders before I bought the jersey before he got the injury the season he was going to be MVP. Okay, when Derek Carr was balling. Okay, bought a Derek Carr jersey. I have an Andrew Luck jersey. When we got Matt Ryan, I promised I would buy a Matt Ryan jersey, so I did that. That did not go well. Think I might have a Wentz jersey. That didn't go well. I have a Shaq jersey. That didn't go well. I have a Juju jersey. That hasn't gone very well. Now, Josh Downs is a baller. I have one of his. I also have a Justin Jefferson jersey, and he's incredible. Long story short, well, I guess long story anyways. Need Anthony Richardson to work out. I have 2 jerseys. So, which was an accidental thing. But, hey, whatever. Ended up with them, one white, one blue. And got 2 Anthony Richardson jerseys, so I hope he works out. But I'm at a point where let the best man win. We have a squad, dude. You rattle off the names, starters and backups on this team right now. We have a squad, bro. One of these quarterbacks has to be able to just get us to win. And Anthony Richardson has a winning record. In games that he has started, we are 8-7. In games that he has started, we are 8-7. And there's been a lot of not pretty with Anthony Richardson. Specifically, obviously last year. He played more last year. But his rookie season, a little up and down through those first few games, but even still finding ways to win. That's the thing. Just finding more consistency is going to be his thing. And I'm at a point where somebody just has to do. We just got to have a good quarterback. We have to find a good quarterback somewhere. If it's Riley Leonard or Jason Bean, who cares? We have to get our team is too good. We have too much talent on the team currently to not make the playoffs, right? I think we can all agree on that, right? If you agree on that statement, hit the like button. It's been too long. Phillip Rivers is the best that we had since Andrew Luck. It's been too long. We got to go. So does AR deserve the start? No, he doesn't. I really like AR. I hope he works out. I want him to be the guy. Like him as a person, like him as a football player. I think his potential is potential GOAT one day. For real. It's time to go, man. It's time to go. I think we'll be starting quarterback for the Colts. Andy Richardson, Dan. Oh, I guess that kind of answers that too. Glad to see you live. What's up, Young Empire? Yeah, appreciate you stopping in here. Always good to see you stopping in. Can pretty much always depend on you to pop into the live streams. Appreciate you. AR5 isn't the week 1 starter. I'll be disappointed, but if Anthony struggles early, I think Daniel Jones starts right away. I mean, for sure. I think Daniel Jones, like if Anthony struggles in training camp, especially compared to a quarterback that's just getting here, hasn't been with the guys before, like if he gets outperformed in training camp, yikes. And at that point, then yeah, Daniel Jones. Or again, Riley Leonard, like I don't care. And I think Riley Leonard, I was impressed with Riley Leonard when I watched the Gruden quarterback camp. I wasn't impressed with all the quarterbacks. So, I'm not going to sit here and say, the same thing about them all. I wasn't impressed with all of them. But Will Howard and Riley Leonard are two that I walked away being really impressed with out of those Gruden QB camps. So if it's Riley Leonard, it's Riley Leonard too, man. Again, we just got to get a quarterback to step up. Hoping to see a lot more Latu this year. A lot more Latu. I still believe that's a dude, if you put him on the field more often, especially in a more aggressive defense. Like, I knew his numbers would always be capped in Gus Bradley's defense because teams against that defense, like the way you get around it is like West Coast base where you're getting the ball out quickly, hitting the edges, like getting away from the pass rush. The pass rush isn't involved. Is really how you play against that defense, right? Because the secondary plays so soft. So coming into a new defense with the attack style defense, this is where you figure out who the actual dogs on this team are. On an attack style defense, we think we know who's good on this team. We're going to find out. Okay, we got a defensive coach and a lot of experience coaching in the secondary specifically, but a lot of defensive in our coaching staff, a lot of experience on the defensive staff. So with that experience should breed good development, and we should see that with Latu and again, JTT by the end of the year. What can we get from Quiddy? This is going to be Quiddy's first time outside of a defense, I guess, like, again, in a more attack style defense. Because you think Eberflus was kind of the same way. He just played more cover 2, right? Cover 2 to cover 3. A little more man mixed in there with Eberflus in the intricacies and da-da-da. But same concept. Both defenses a little softer. And Quiddy's always been in that. So coming into this system in the year where he's in his 5th-year option, contract year for him, what can Quiddy do? And I'm honestly kind of excited to see that. He's a physical freak. It's one thing with Quiddy, like, it's why his career to this point, in my eyes, has been somewhat disappointing. Is just because he's such a freak athlete that I just expected more from him. So hoping to see some from him too. But again, I think by the end of the year, it's going to be Latu and JTT that we're really talking about. We need more lives. Yeah. Gonna try to be more consistent with the lives and incorporate, an hour or so into every Sunday. Gonna find time in every Sunday. And honestly, probably going to try to do it around the same time. Sundays when I try to get some other things done. Obviously, need to find time for the gym. I usually, game with the boys, so waking up. So we'll see. But going to try to make sure to stream every Sunday. Just probably not going to be a same time every week kind of thing. But definitely going to try to do it more every week. Jalen Jones takes the next step. Bro, he's playing against the 2s. I think Jalen Jones, yeah. Do I think he takes the next step? I do. I think, dude, his body type is so perfect. And this is one of those perfect storm situations where you find Chris Ballard finds guys late in the draft with qualities that he likes. And this is where you got to give Ballard credit, man. He does find these diamonds in the rough, and he did it again. Jalen Jones, when you turn on his college, even though he was a 7th rounder, when I looked at the 3 cornerbacks that we drafted, I like that Juju was physical, and he brought that into the NFL. He just obviously can't stay healthy, but really like how physical Juju is. There were a lot of things as I was sitting there and tried to watch as much as I could of Jalen Jones and find everything I could about Jalen Jones because he's prototypical athlete, prototypical body type. And I just wanted to find anything I could to see, is this going to be one of the guys? And as I looked more into him, it was like, why is this guy getting drafted in the 7th round? Like how do 32 teams make the mistake of letting this guy go to the 7th round, and then he comes in and not even supposed to start, not supposed to play, right? But in Juju wasn't even supposed to be on the field due to injuries, due to situation. We end up in a situation. Jalen Jones is the number 1 corner as a 7th round rookie for most of the year and gets battle tested. There were rough times. Obviously, the other side of the field was more the issue. Even in his rookie year, he was, fairly sticky in coverage his rookie year, but obviously rookie moments and the secondary, whole team underperformed that season. Right? Am I thinking of the right year? Was he a rookie in 2022? Is that right? Yeah. He's going into his 3rd year. Yeah, I'm thinking about that right. Yeah. Whole team underperformed. No, I'm tripping. 2023 was his first year. But nonetheless, yes, when I think about the question, is Jalen Jones going to take that next step? I think it's almost an obvious yes, because he's been the 1. Now he's going to the 2. He has Charvarius Ward on the other side of the field. He has good people behind him. Kenny Moore in the slot. He has, again, the amount of secondary coaching knowledge that we have on the roster right now, and that coaching staff is ridiculous. And I think Jalen Jones is going to benefit from a more aggressive defense for sure. He's one of the guys, and he's going to be one of the dogs that more aggressive defense benefits him 100%. So very excited. And at some point throughout this offseason, when we're trying to figure out content, that's one of the conversations we're going to have. Okay, it is just about just that. Jalen Jones. Jalen Jones is a dog, man. He's got that dog in him. I've seen enough. And I really like the player. I think he's going to be really good in his 3rd year. Where am I from? I am originally from Indiana. Born and raised in Indianapolis. Spent time there. Ended up in Brownsburg. Lived in Danville for a little while. Graduated from Brownsburg. Lived in Danville for a minute. And then I think I moved back to Brownsburg. Yeah. And then I moved to Florida. Been in Florida, same area in Florida, just been chilling in Florida for going on a decade now, actually. Right? Has it been a decade? Moved here after my 22nd birthday. I'm about to turn 32. Yeah. So been down in Florida for a decade, but I spent the first 22 years of my life, again, born and raised in Indianapolis, Brownsburg, that kind of area. You see Giddens seeing the field much? Honestly, again, this is this is a video we're gonna have later on. I think really highly of Khalil Herbert. I think he's a guy that could be a starter somewhere. And he's one of the most quality backup running backs. And really don't even like calling him a backup because he probably should be a starter somewhere. He's a really good co-star. And when you put Giddens in there, what Giddens is going to have the capabilities of doing, I almost wouldn't be surprised if there comes a time in the season where Giddens takes number 2. Like, that's what I think his potential is. I think he is really good. I think what he brings physically, his body type and the athleticism to go with it, his shiftiness, the willingness to be patient and to be able, like, vision for a running back. Like, once you really, like, understand, like, what people mean by vision, like, his vision as a running back is ridiculous. Like JT levels. Like, you think about the run against the Patriots, even the run against the Jets on Thursday night. JT's vision, his ability to understand, I have to, like, he's seeing guys ahead of time. This is what I need to do to get them to come here, and I'm going to hit this, and I'm gone. Because he knows what he needs to do. He knows what his guys are doing, and he sees guys coming at him, right? Giddens is the same way. He has the same ability. From everything I've seen of him, he has the same ability to be able to read and react in real time, to be able to play that chess game as a running back and have the vision to set guys up, be patient, set a guy up and hit that cut and go. Now, is Giddens going to be a guy that, like, runs away from massive touchdowns? Like, he can make big plays for sure. He can get you big time plays without a doubt. But I think he's more of a guy. I'm trying to think. I had specific examples, and they just slipped as I'm sitting here watching this game, getting myself distracted. But he'll get ran down. Right. He's not going to run away like JT. He's not going to run away like Ashton Genty for touchdowns. He can. But I really like Giddens. And again, I could see a world where he takes the number 2 running back spot at some point. And we'll see what happens there. Young Empire, letting people know, hit that like button. Appreciate you. Definitely hit that like button if you enjoy the content. If you like what's going on, if you happen to be here and you're not a subscriber, make sure you are subscribed as well, my friends. Got a question. Hold on, because I'm leaving. Okay, bet. Yeah. Oh, here you go. Okay, my question is, I think we should let Pittman go. How do you feel about that? That is... Oh, that's a good question. Letting Pittman go. See, and I've had this same conversation with myself a few times this offseason. And, like, with what he's been for us in the past and everything he's gone through to be as great as he's been for us, for as mediocre as we've been, right? And he's been loyal to us. No drama. Like, and then last year to put it all on the line, to figure out exactly what it was he was dealing with and how severe it actually was. And then to know that he battled through and he only missed one game. I think he ended up missing one game. Came back and, finished the season well. So absolute dog. It'd be hard to move on from him, man, honestly. Really hard to move on from him. But they're, like, situations are situational, right? Like if you move on from Pitt, then, like, what's the plan? Right? And feel free to hit the chat and let me know your thoughts on, like, what, and any of you, like, if you let Pitt go, then what's the plan? You're obviously saying we believe in AD, and you want Alec Pearson AD to be your 1-2, and Josh Downs in the slot. Are you ready for that? That's my question. I think we're a year away from that. Which is why I think we're a year away from having this conversation for real. With the way contracts are set up, right? You know what? Let me just go get Pitt's contract real quick. I don't want to guess anything. I want to be want this to be an educated conversation. Contract, Michael Pittman Jr. Okay, yeah, it was a 3-year deal. And he already played a year. So, he plays this year. His cap hit's $23 million. If you keep Michael Pittman Jr. for 2026, his cap hit is $29 million. If I assume this is a cut, if you cut him, it's $5 million in dead money. Let's get a better breakdown here. Remaining cash. So there's no $2 million roster bonus. $22 million is base salary. So it looks like $2 million Spotrac is kind of trash. Let me go to over the cap real quick. Yeah, here we go. Okay. This is exact. Okay. So I was right. 2026, if you keep Michael Pittman Jr., he gets $0 guaranteed in 2026. $5 million dead cap if he's cut pre-June 1st. Post-June 1st, it does not change. And trading is the same, $5 million dead cap. So you go into the season without Michael Pittman Jr. next year, it's $5 million. So you're saving $24 million even, at least according to this. It's $29 million even on the cap number, $5 million in dead money. You get rid of them, $24 million in savings. Okay? So with that information, what's the plan? Because look at our team right now. Look at our situation. If Anthony balls out, right? Anthony figures it out. And when the quarterback is good, do you think we're better with or without Michael Pittman Jr.? Please let me know. Anybody that's here, hop in the chat. Quarterback, not an issue. Right? Good starting quarterback. I'm not saying one of the best in the league. We'll say top half of the league. One of our quarterbacks, top half of the league. Able to win us some games. You let me know in the chat. In that situation, this team, are we better with or without Michael Pittman Jr.? Ooh, and I don't know the answer, brother. I don't. Like, I think I have so much faith in A.D. Mitchell. How easily he can get open. Like, when he's on the field, he's one of the guys, he just moves different, man. He just looks different. Right? I love guys like that. He needs a quarterback to give him the ball. So if we're talking about a situation where the quarterback can get him the ball, and then you have AP on the other side and Josh Downs and Tyler Warren and JT, right? But what if we're in that situation, right? Let's say we're in that situation. Top half of the league, one of our quarterbacks, top half of the league, able to win us some games. And you keep Michael Pittman Jr. instead. And A.D. Mitchell's able to get on the field. And A.D. Mitchell's able to have an impact. A.D. Mitchell able to continue his development and show you that he can be the guy. Then the question becomes, what is Alec Pierce's contract number? And then do you keep him, right? And these are, all right, if we're going to have the conversation, we got to figure out a plan. If you keep Michael Pittman Jr. this year with the $18 million guaranteed, then going into next season, do you save $24 million by cutting him and giving Alec Pierce a contract? And what does that contract look like? Or do you keep Michael Pittman Jr., have $29 million against the cap, and let Alec Pierce go elsewhere and have Michael Pittman Jr. on one side, A.D. Mitchell on the other, and Josh Downs, and Tyler Warren and JT in 2026? Or is Michael Pittman Jr. a Colts lifer? Whether he likes it or not, bro's stuck with us. Forever. He is a dog. And it's not always great with Pitt. You know, a lot of down games in between the greats. But when he's on it, when he has a quarterback that he can really work with, Pitt's a dog, bro. I mean, not afraid to mix it up. He's a big body guy, 6'4", 220, big body guy. Not afraid to mix it up. Not afraid to do the dirty work. Not afraid to get the blocks. Gets angry at himself when he doesn't block well enough. It's a tough conversation to have, man. It's a good question. It's a really good question. It's a really tough conversation to have. I think this year you'd be better suited keeping him. To fall back on everything. To go back to the original. Your original question, right, is should we let Pittman go? Well, not this year. I think that's a conversation in the offseason. Not this year. Sko, what's going on, brother? Peeped you down there. Didn't want to break my concentration. I've done that a couple times and forgot what I was supposed to be talking about there. So didn't want to break, but appreciate you hopping in, man. See you in the comment section of some of the videos as well. I know I've been bad about, the comment section not being in. I see what you guys say, man. It's only so much time in a day, and I already don't have enough to do everything I'd like to do. So do the best I can, but I do see what you guys say. Like, a lot of what we talk about hinges on what you guys are saying, your guys' opinions, and what you guys think, how interactive you guys are with the videos. Really lets me know, hey, this is what we want to talk about. So this is what we're going to keep talking about, right? That's why I say, we'll hit the like button, right? Subscribe, have notifications on so you get notified when we drop content. And if you're enjoying the content, hit the like button. Let me know what you guys are into. We don't have a solid number one if Pitty's gone. Yes, true. That is a massive problem. Is you're not exactly sure who the one is going to be in that instance. Now, am I tripping? I thought somebody had said something about the Pacers at some point, right? I think I'm blind. I thought somebody said something about the Pacers. Maybe not. But, yeah. Yeah, the Ballard's job being on the line is also an interesting conversation, honestly. Has he done? I mean, I guess what happens during the season will, really be, hey, is Ballard going to get fired or not? But all in all, like, incredible offseason by Ballard. Incredible offseason. Now, as we come up on the hour mark here, just some quick stuff. We already talked about. So Tyler Warren's contract, 4 years, $20.9 million, fully guaranteed. Zaire Franklin, of course, has the ankle surgery. One of the NFL schedule leaks: Falcons versus Colts, Week 10 in Germany. Right? The new Falcons. Michael Penix Jr. leading the way. presumably. I guess if he's hurt, Kirk Cousins, whatever. Right? Should be an exciting game, man, with what we could be, with what the Falcons could be. They drafted James Pierce Jr. I thought that was a really good pick. Thought they had a pretty good offseason, honestly, through and through. Should be a good game. Week 10 in Germany. Oh, excuse me. Which is interesting. I can't remember what week I thought the Colts were going to have a bye week. I think I gave us an earlier bye week, maybe. It might have been week 10, honestly. I might be cooked. Rookie numbers. Tyler Warren wears 84. JTT 91. Justin Wally wearing number 27. Was it Jordan Travis, I believe, right? Jordan Travis, another JT, 75. DJ Giddens, 21. Riley Leonard, number 15. Hunter Waller, number 30. Tim Smith, number 93. I never really paid attention to the rookie numbers up until this point. Why is 93 not retired? Who made it okay for somebody to wear 93? Right? Am I tripping? Is Dwight Freeney not in the Colts Ring of Honor? Don't like that. Don't like that one bit, brother. Mavs got the number 1 overall pick. Yeah, bro. All right, going to finish the football news because I do want to talk about basketball a little bit with you guys. Former NFL kicker Rodrigo Blankenship is a perfect 16 for 16 to open the UFL season. Absolutely blasting balls, looking good in the UFL. Taking some time away. I believe not in the NFL this past season, but I believe was in the gym. Pretty sure is what I saw. Trying to strengthen his leg. I'm almost certain that's what I saw. That might be fake news, but pretty sure that's what I saw. That's really it for right now. Not a whole lot coming out of minicamp. Man. Yeah, so let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Gets up to 55%. Colts win 10 games. I don't know what to save. Colts make the playoffs, and there's some improvement by AR. They definitely get another season. That's tough. I feel like did that happen last year with you, Sco? Didn't you? Wasn't it when they came, you were gone? Something like that. Maybe I'm misremembering. I'm just making things up. That's tough. We can get a Pro Bowl wide receiver for Pittman. I mean, maybe. Right, like T. Higgins. That who you're thinking? I don't really know. Who else? I don't think Ring of Honor equals retired jersey. I always thought it did. I mean, maybe I am tripping. But I always thought everybody we put into the Ring of Honor. Well, no, I guess because Jim Harbaugh was number 4 and he's in the Ring of Honor, and Ellinger had number 4. No playoffs in that scenario, but improvement from AR. Depends how we miss the playoffs. Right? Like, do we... Almost said a word I can't say on this channel. Do we fall apart in Jacksonville in Week 17? Or is it just that the AFC is the AFC? It's really strong with a lot of quarterbacks. And we just end up as like the 8th seed with 10 wins. Yeah, Vinny had 4. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of what I was figuring. There, Timothy. And he says, in my scenario, Houston wins 11, and we missed the wild card. That's what I was thinking. Like, if you think Houston's going to win 12, 11, 12, 13 games, but, like, it all depends on the scheduling, honestly. Like, how many of the good AFC teams are going to have to play? Like, the Broncos are playing the Chiefs twice. We know that. Once on Christmas. That scenario boils down to 100% the scheduling that gets put together. The good teams playing each other. And, like, are there going to be enough wild card teams for a 10-win team to miss? Is really, like, the only obstacle in that I'm seeing. Like, when I'm trying to throw a wrench in your plan, in your scenario, like, that's the one. But, like, in that scenario, right, which it's not the question. I'm just trying to find a loophole and a way around it. Just to be devious, I guess. But, like, for the question, I do think if you win 10 games and miss the playoffs just because other teams were good, like you win in week 17, but like leading up to it, like Houston wins in week 17 to keep the lead, right? Like if there's a situation like that and it's not, it's not a humiliation going into the offseason, then yeah, I think they all keep their job. If we get humiliated and miss the playoffs in the last week again, yeah, it's probably time to hit the reset button on that one. Yeah, I think that's probably my final answer there. Why didn't we re-sign Matt Gay? Because inconsistent, man. That's the name of the game right now. Is inconsistent. Look at the Colts roster over the time. Just inconsistency from the quarterback leads to inconsistency from other people. Inconsistency on the defense that we've been running led us to consistently be one of the worst defenses in the league, and it just kept getting worse and worse every season. It's about competition and it's about consistency. That's what 2025 is for the Colts. You want to boil it down to what matters. Anthony Richardson getting better, yeah. You can go into the specifics of this and that and this and that and blah, 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 and who cares? Nothing matters for the 2025 Colts. And nothing will get this team to ascend to where we want this team to be and where we think this team can be without competition and consistency. Consistency is such a massive piece of the puzzle. Right? And take it from somebody who is trying to be consistent in every part of life to try to be, as successful as possible and continuously being inconsistent. Right? Which is a human experience, right? We're not professional athletes. I'm just a guy. But when you think about every Sunday, these guys making so much money, the stakes are so high, time in the NFL is so limited. It's time to go. And without consistency, you're never going to stick around. Whether you're a player, coach, front office member, without consistency, what you do doesn't matter. It's what you did. But when you're consistent and you are a high-level competitor, that's when the expectations come. And it's a privilege to have expectation. It is. And that's where we need to get. And I think AR, again, finally getting like a real offseason of training, I think AR is going to be great. Matt Gay was massively inconsistent. I'm not going to lie. I feel like that was a pretty good promo. Like, if you're looking at this like WWE, that was a pretty good promo I just cut. All right. We've been talking about Colts for an hour. Understandably, some of you might not be fans of all the sports teams in Indiana, but boy, the Pacers are doing it again, man. Not talked about enough. Consistently overlooked. And sometimes, man, so frustrating to watch. Really, like I just started watching them, like watching all their games as we were leading into the playoffs. Started watching them, paid attention to them all season long, and paid attention to what was happening. But what a team, man! What a team! And we talk about a team, like when the Pacers play out a team, it is incredible to watch, because basketball, like for me, I don't know about everybody else. For me, I love watching basketball when you have an offense, a team that's just pass the ball, right? And just moving the ball around, doing what's smart, dribble, drive, kick, and then pass the ball around the key, and then, hey, I'm going to make a move and get the ball, like whatever. It's beautiful basketball, what the Pacers are able to do. Specifically, like what Game 3 was for the Pacers was awful, dude. Terrible viewing experience all around. I thought they were cooked. After Game 3, bro, I thought the Pacers were cooked. I was like, oh, no. The Cavs got healthy and the real Pacers just showed up. And then they come out the next night. Matherin gets the stupidest, weirdest ejection of all time. And I swear, refs hate him for his attitude. Like, and dude is confident. Dude is cocky, and he's not afraid to talk smack with anybody. And I really think refs don't like that. And I think that leveled into him getting kicked out. Ridiculous. We're not going to sit here and harp on that here, but ridiculous ejection. And the Pacers were already controlling the game up to that point. But boy, what happened after that point? Bro, it was 61-37 coming up to halftime. And the Pacers decided to go on a 19-2 run, including Hallie hitting from deep, including Miles Turner with a little step back, and then just pulling up from, probably 35 feet. Heat check, drop it. Naismith right before the half. Like, what the Pacers did yesterday was, from Game 3 to Game 4, some of the worst basketball I've watched in a long time. I recently started rewatching, but I stopped watching basketball because it was Steph and LeBron in the finals for 4 years in a row. Like, watching greatness is cool, and I watched the first couple, but it just got boring. So, stopped watching basketball. The Pacers weren't good. So, it was like, I'm paying attention to the Pacers, but we weren't doing anything. So I'm not going to watch. I'm just going to watch us lose 50 games in a season. So, but I started paying attention when we got Halliburton. You know, I heard a lot of people say, "Oh, this is a huge move for the Pacers. This is where they shift," and then those people were right. The people that foresaw that, they were right. What Kevin Pritchard has done and the pieces that he's brought in. I saw a graphic of people that he's traded for, people that he's drafted. Just incredible job overall. In the development, right? You got to give Carlisle and his staff credit as well. The development of these guys is incredible, especially just from one year to the next. For somebody that hasn't watched all these guys complete careers, from last year to this year, incredible improvements from some of the role players like Naismith, Nimbard. Right, you have Ben Shepherd, who just plays hard, man. Like, he's one of those, like a junkyard dog type guy, that's not going to come in and be super flashy on offense, right? When I see him on the floor, I don't expect him to do anything on offense, but I know he's going to work hard, right? Which is a great quality to have. Right, you have that, and that's what this team seems built on. Is putting in the work. I think sometimes they get pumped up a lot and their heads get too big for them. But I think that comes because this is a team, while they have veterans, it's veterans that haven't tasted a lot of success in the NBA. So I do think there's a level of they're still figuring out how to handle success. Even with the star talent, I think they're figuring out how to handle success still. And figuring out, and dude, I'm really at a point, like, from an unbiased standpoint, because like I have a channel talking about the Colts. I love the Colts, as you can tell. Like I'm so passionate about the Colts, and I mess with the Pacers. I always have. Grew up. I mean, I loved playing basketball, watching basketball. Grew up a massive Pacers fan, watching all the Pacers games. Right, Reggie Miller era, like all of them, all the games. And, just grew up that way. I loved sports, and that's what I did. And I still love watching basketball. I love watching competitive basketball is my thing, which is why I love watching the NBA playoffs. And not really sure where I was going with that, to be completely honest with you. I looked up at the game and got myself distracted again. But Pacers are being the most exciting team in the NBA is pretty sweet. Because then you have the Fever, who for obvious reasons are the most entertaining team in the WNBA. So, man, Jason Tatum's popping off 5 threes, bro. Come on. Took his under on points. I need him to relax and turn into fourth quarter Jason Tatum here. Parlay's cooked. Yeah, man, Pacers doing it. Fever doing it. Just need Anthony Richardson and that offense to do it, man. Anthony Richardson, the offense, the defense. Need to get it figured out. Start winning this year. Like, Indy Sports is all the way up. All the way up, man. Honestly, man, like, I remember I think it was maybe the last game of the regular season for the Pacers was the OKC Thunder. Maybe not the last game. One of the last games of the season was the Thunder. And I thought when the Thunder, smacked the Pacers in the mouth, bro. When that happened, I was like, oh no. Like, Pacers are where they're supposed to be. They're going to go into the playoffs and is somehow going to lose to the Bucks, and Now people are going to, laugh at the Pacers again and, oh, you were a 4 seed, you lost to a 5 seed.
Conference semi-finals between the Pacers and the Cavaliers is at Rocket Arena in Cleveland, Ohio.
I have no idea what just. I don't know if you guys just heard that. I didn't know my computer could do that. Sorry, that one got me. Took me completely off my game. Oh right, yeah, talking about them coming into the playoffs, man. I thought they were going to lose to the Bucks somehow, in embarrassing fashion, and now the Cavs, because they're the 1 seed, I expected them to be up 3-1 right now. And then somehow, some way, we took the first 2 in Cleveland. We steal game 2 because Tyrese Halliburton goes nuts in the 4th. And then, it just felt like going into game 3, we're going to get whooped. And we did. And but then it was good to see him answer, man. I thought game 3 might demoralize him and might be the end of the series. But boy, was I wrong. That was a 40-point game for most of the game, which is kind of ridiculous. And just incredible to watch, man. Incredible team to watch. Like, them knowing they need to get better on defense and actually doing it it garners some respect from me. In modern NBA, the best teams playing right now play defense, and the Pacers figured it out. And that's why I think they're a threat to actually go to the championship. Now, the Thunder are going to be a problem. If you get past the Cavs, of course, you got to get past Boston or New York. Jalen Brunson just landed on Jaylen Brown's foot. He's at the free throw line. He's probably going to be fine. Yeah, Jalen Brunson going to be fine. So whoever comes out of this series, with Boston up right now, this could be a 2-2 series at the end of this one. But whether it's the 2 seed or the 3 seed, Pacers going to be the underdog again. And I was just talking to my cousin earlier, dude, I'm not really worried about the East teams. With what I've seen from the Pacers, dude, when they're hitting, and yesterday was crazy, but like when they hit, which they usually do because they're great on offense, and they just take care of the ball, don't turn the ball over, like almost unbeatable. Think about after the All-Star break, or their last 50 games before the playoffs started, right? Them and the Cavs were like the best 2 teams in the league, right? Pretty much all those wins were because Tyrese Halliburton was on an insane generational run of not turning the ball over, right? He's a key guy, right? So just don't turn the ball over, and there's a really good chance Pacers are going to win. The fact that we can gentleman sweep the Bucks and then do it to the number 1 seed Cavs, the best record in the league Cavs. If we did that, go into Cleveland and end it, would be incredible, man. Really impressed. Really impressed with what I've seen. Now, of course, if you don't win, going back to Indy puts a lot of pressure on the Pacers to win that game. Because if you go back to Cleveland 3-3, yikes. Right? So, must win for both teams, right? This is the playoffs, man. So must win for both teams. It's going to be really exciting to see what happens tomorrow. And but I have faith in the Pacers, man. Siakam's, and if you follow me on Twitter, I've been really critical of Siakam. Really faded in the playoffs, man. It's like, well, maybe our best player all year, him and Tyrese, of course, and he faded in the playoffs. But he had a great game yesterday, and I just hope the Cavs are going to adjust. The Pacers picked apart that zone defense finally. The Cavs are going to adjust. And the Pacers are going to have to figure it out, and I want to see Siakam have another effective game. And if he has another effective game, I think, again, when Siakam, Halliburton, and Turner can do their thing and they're able to figure out offensively, dude, again, almost impossible to beat because the role players can hit shots too. Weaponized depth and cardio. Opponents fade and get hurt because the Pacers have pressured and exhausted. Yeah, literally, bro, the injuries that happen against the Pacers, like that shit, oops. That stuff happens for a reason. Right? Like the Pacers aren't dirty. It's just that they're physically exhausting teams. They're more physical than they get credit for. Which is why I was impressed with the Cavs. Even when they had injuries early in this series, they were out rebounding us, which is about effort, but also physicality. And I thought they did a better job than us in that. And then we turned it around in Game 4. Need more of that. More, right, if you're going to be an aggressive team, get rebounds, dude. You got to get rebounds. League is so soft. I understand what the old heads be talking about when they say league is soft. Yeah, league has gotten very soft. It just has, man. It's like players and people forget basketball is a contact sport, dude. Always was. It's a contact sport. And it's some of the biggest humans on earth. Stuff's going to happen, man. Bodies are going to drop. It's just the nature of the business, dude. But everybody's soft. Everybody, a little tweak here, a little tweak there. And I mean, sports science being what it is, these guys trying to save their career and have longevity in their career. But the product suffers for sure. Yeah, honestly, Timothy, I'm with you, man. I don't understand it. I think, it's got to be like something in like the way he looks and the way he carries himself. But like when you hear him speak, he's just a really confident guy, not afraid to back or not going to back down from anybody, not afraid of anybody, but also he seems chill. He seems like a good dude. He just has that dog in him, bro. Mathurin has that dog in him. I love having him on the team. I do. He's one of the reasons I like the Pacers. I wish he played more. I wish he was more consistent on the floor and a more consistent contributor for the team. But he's a dog. There's one thing I know about Mathurin, and is I don't know much. Say he is a dog, and I love every second of it. If all any sports teams are good, I bet the city is so much fun. Yeah, exactly. The city's going to be better. It's going to be more lively. If the Colts are good, the fall and the winter will be more exciting than being dull and cold and who cares anymore, right? The city will be better. Then you have the Pacers and the Fever, so spring and summer are going to be better. You have all 4 seasons covered. Plus, real estate in Indiana, from what I heard, real estate prices going up. So, like, things potentially, if the Colts can figure it out because the NFL is such a good money generator, the Colts can figure it out with the other 2 teams. Indy's about to be a booming market. And potential for the NHL, if they want to continue to expand and get 2 more teams, we could see a situation where the NHL expands to Indy finally. Yeah, I think that's going to be it. I'm about ready for dinner. It's 9:21, getting late. About time for people to go to bed. So we're just going to cash out here, man. I appreciate you guys stopping by. Let's go, Timothy, Young Empire, KT, if you're still sticking around. Nathan, Mike, so many of you guys. I'm sorry if I missed anybody. I think think I hit all the names that were in the chat. I appreciate you guys stopping by. I appreciate you guys being in the chat again. We're going to try to do this weekly, try to share with any Colts fans you have, man. Want to keep keeping up with Colts Nation every week. And, you know, these might be a little shorter in the future, but it's been a while since we did this. So wanted to stick around for a little while, see who we could get in here, see who I could catch up with. But with that said, I hope you guys have a wonderful night again. Appreciate you stopping by. Like, subscribe, notifications, all the good stuff. Appreciate you guys. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you guys very shortly.